Mr. Jim Allister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I do have to say this. This House significantly lacks credibility in discussing these issues and in propositions about tougher sentences being required. Because 4 of the parties that make up the government in this House were advocates for opening the prison doors and letting out the murderers, whether they were child killers or police killers. The unanimous view of 4 of the parties in this government was they are different. Let them out. I listened to Mr. Blair talking about we can't have a disparity, a hierarchy of victims. It's a bit late for the Alliance Party to think in those terms, because in 1998, that's exactly what they endorsed. Now, if you killed a policeman, you got out of jail. If you killed your neighbour in a domestic or your wife, you stayed in jail. So it really is stretching credulity to hear people in this House talking about not creating a hierarchy of disparity when they, through their political parties, have done exactly that. That is why I say this Assembly, peopled in the main by folk from those parties, lacks credibility on this issue. And of course, lacks it particularly from the benches of Sinn Féin, who to this very day not only campaign for release of IRA murderers, but to this very day refuse to call them murderers, refuse to condemn them as terrorist acts, still justify those acts. And then they come here today nitpicking about whether we're going to be creating a disparity when they are the living, walking illustration of hypocrisy and disparity on the issue of criminality. When they yet cannot say it was wrong to kill. Nay, they celebrate, they glorify the killers. So I do stress the point. This Assembly starts from a very low base in terms of looking for pontificating about sentencing for all. I do recognise there is an issue about picking particular sectors for a particular format of sentencing, but there's a far bigger issue, and it's the one I've been talking about. But I do want to say to the Justice Minister, I think there is an issue she does seriously need to look at. In non-homicide cases, this 50-50 practice of you get half probation and half time to serve, it rightly is regarded as the soft option, because that's what it is. For most criminals, putting them on probation is that which causes them to laugh as they walk away from the criminal justice system. So this idea of a 50-50 process in sentencing is one of the things that is bringing the whole criminal justice system into serious disrepute. And if anything is to be addressed, that, I believe, is an issue that needs to be addressed in a very vigorous way. So I do think it's unfortunate that we're having a debate on an issue where there is an attempt to
Ask the
set up
member
straw men,
to conclude his remarks, please.
to set up straw men about disparity, when the very creators of this disparity are the people sitting in front of me.
Mr. Jerry Carroll.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak against this motion for a multitude